Hello everyone, my name is Alana Morgan, a lead anchor here at KBEV 6. Today I'm here with Donna Tryfman, a candidate for the Beverly Hills School Board. Welcome back to another Beverly Hills School Board interview. Donna, how are you?
I am doing well, thank you, Alana. Congratulations on your recent win, by the way. I saw you
thank
in paper.
Thank you so much. So I want to start off by just knowing more about your mission as a candidate and your plans on prioritizing children's education.
Okay, so obviously the most pressing issue that we have going on right now is the fact that no one is in school and we're doing everything by Zoom. So my particular preference would be to have all you guys back in school. Primarily the littles probably should go back first, but I'm interested in executing that transition in the safest way possible. We do have a little bit of a further goalpost by the governor at this point. So that's probably not going to happen for at least another 6 to 8 weeks by my analysis. That's my opinion. But I think that we need to look at some creative solutions to perhaps try to get the littles back to school first, because they're the ones most likely that are suffering the most, both emotionally, socially, and because they're supposed to be getting their foundations for school right now, and they're not getting it. It doesn't, relate over the camera and over Zoom as much as it would in person. So that would be my first, obviously, job if I'm seated as a board member. I'm also part of a program from the Constitutional Rights Foundation. It's a mock trial program.
Oh, wow.
And once once we get back to school, I would like to institute that as well. We're pretty much the only district in Southern California that does not participate in the program. It's like a debate, it's a criminal case, and there's prosecution and defense teams, and everyone competes, and it's a great program that I'd like to bring. And I'm also a lawyer. I'm a deputy public defender for LA County. I do some of the most serious, complex felony litigation. And so I would bring that expertise to the board. I think we've had a little bit too much litigation. I think when we negotiate and we come to a guaranteed disposition, that everybody wins in that regard. And that's something that I would bring my expertise to the table and review contracts and make sure that we're trying to negotiate and get to a disposition before we waste more money or invest more money in litigation. And finally, we need to get the school construction done. It's been a while. At least get an auditorium open here and there. And so I'd be looking into ways to sort of streamline that process and perhaps get us on a much more quicker timeline, see where we can go forward and forge ahead. So those are my ideas for the school and education right now.
I'm so happy you mentioned a little bit more about your background. Speaking on that, I want to also touch on the fact that you are also a member of the Los Angeles County Bar Association.
Oh, yes.
What memorable experience have you gained from being a part of not only this association, but also the other associations that you are involved in as well?
Well, as a professional, I think that, and as a public defender, I think that it's very important to get the voice of the voiceless out there, because that's what public defenders do. We humanize people who have often been accused of doing some of the worst things that our society has. And so that's a very, very difficult job. And so by being a public defender and being out in my legal community, I am able to give the viewpoint of a public defender and what that means. Specifically with LACBA, I sit with a committee of 15 people, and it's called the Judicial Election Evaluation Committee. And what we do is we vet people who want to sit on the bench, and we vet them through the community. And oftentimes the viewpoint of a public defender or of a defender period is very valuable in vetting people who are going to be coming into contact with society as large and are going to be meting out equal access to justice. So my involvement with LACBA is continuing, and I really enjoy it. I am also president of the Public Defenders Association in my office, and we give out scholarships to law clerks, to law students. We also put on what we call the PD prom every year. We're not doing it this year.
Because of the whole situation.
Yeah. It's an appreciation dinner with 4 public defenders who have achieved amazing results on cases or have done amazing things. There's a lot of honorable awards. That's a really fun award night that my organization puts on. But that's a very, that organization has been in existence since 1963. My office is also recently unionized, which Local 148, yay, ask me. And I'm involved in a lot of things in my office as well. I'm involved in the public policy committee, so we get involved with ideas for legislation and how it could help the population that we serve. Because a lot of times we just, the defense side, especially with the population that we serve, does not have that much of a voice. So we are that voice for that particular population. Mentally ill, all juveniles, all of that.
So you've talked more about like your mission and about our school district in general and about yourself. Can you tell us your main or ultimate goal that you would like to address that would make you different from the other candidates, or just something that you really feel is important and needs to be touched on?
That's an interesting question. It encompasses a lot of different things. I think what I bring to the table are know-how, tenacity, and a legal skill set that none of the other candidates have at this point. And I also believe that we need to continue speaking with Metro to try to procure some sort of a benefit for the school and for the district. At this point, they're tunneling under in our area. So we're perhaps reaching into an area of the law called eminent domain. So if they take some of our property simply, they'd have to give us some sort of benefit in return. And I think that I could be instrumental in negotiating with Metro and perhaps procuring some sort of a benefit for the district. I am definitely a no-nonsense, strong person. I would be a voice for the kids first. I think you guys come first, period. And I think that I would be a representative of the community and the parents as well.
And speaking about being a voice for the students, our students today, a lot of the biggest issues that students are facing right now, especially distance learning, and I can even speak for myself with just the online learning in general, is screen time and just being and looking at a screen all day. Some students are concerned about that and how it's going to lead to their overall health overall. So what would you say, or how would you help those students who really want their voice to be heard on that particular aspect?
Well, I'm proud of a lot of students, and that because I was watching the board meeting from a couple weeks ago, and there were students that wrote in, and so I'm really proud that the students exercised their rights and had their voices heard regarding the screen time. So yes, and so I'm experiencing a lot of the screen time because my daughter has taken over the dining room, and there's stuff, there's stuff all over the place, and it's hard. Last year when we had the home learning 2.0, that was not adequate at all. There was not enough interaction. There was not enough teaching. There was not enough synchronous or asynchronous learning at all. And now it seems almost that the classes are a bit too long. There's differences in how teachers,
lengthy.
And there's differences in how the teachers give breaks. One will give a 10-minute break. Another one will give a 1 or 2 minute break. And so I think that there probably needs to be consistency, but if you guys are in a class that's an hour and a half long, I think you need at least a 10 to 15 minute break in there. And perhaps maybe, I know that some of the students suggested making Wednesday a study day. I would give up a day of instruction, I really would. But maybe that can be a half day. Maybe that can be a day for office hours. Maybe that can be a day for, some optional interaction with the teacher.
And on your website, you spoke on the fact of enrollment continuing to decline. Can you expand more on why you think enrollment is starting to decline and ways in which we can help just students enroll more in our school district?
Okay. So I think that declining enrollment is more than just changing demographics in the city. I think that declining enrollment has to do with the fact that our facilities are very unattractive. And that's a construction issue. That's why I would be very interested in trying to speed that up and seeing what kind of methods we can use with the Division of State Architect and maybe, get down and see what we can do with our contractors as well. I think also that we need to be engaging in certain marketing at the pre-K and the K level, go into the preschools that are at Roxbury and Hawthorne, and make sure that those families and those kids get excited about what it's going to be like to be, a big boy and girl. Have representatives, either ASB, you guys, whatever, come on in and just say what it's like to be a good boy, a big boy or a big girl. So I think that they need to be exposed to the programs and the wonderful thing that is the BHUSD district. And by the way, I'm a product myself. I'm aging myself. I'm 81 Horace Mann and 85 BHHS.
Yes, exactly. So speaking on that fact, since you know what our school district has looked like since you went to Horace Mann, and like you mentioned, Beverly Vista, was it?
No, Horace Mann and the high school.
Horace Mann and the high school. Can you tell me how you've seen our district change, and do you think it has had a positive change or a negative change overall?
It's difficult to say. I know that my daughter is having a different experience, obviously, because the technology and the internet is just a game changer, period. So, we did not have that at all. We had party lines, we didn't have a house party. So, it's just a very, very different experience. It's very difficult to compare because I grew up without it. I know that there are wonderful, wonderful educators in this district. Then there were great educators. Now there's great educators. And that's honestly the heart of the district, are the teachers and the interactions. And so in that sense, I think that the district is still maintained a high level. Is there room for improvement? Yes, in everything there's room for improvement. Absolutely.
Exactly. And so lastly, I want to talk about the qualities that you possess. What are some other qualities that you possess that you think would make you the best candidate?
Well, I was a drama groupie when I was in high school. I was a mad.
Oh, I was in drama for the first 2 years. I did drama.
So I'm definitely a performing arts proponent. I would like to see that program grow and thrive and get all the support that it needs. I'm a strong person. I'm definitely an assertive person, but I bring a lot of professionalism to the table because I wouldn't have a good reputation in the criminal justice system for almost 25 years if I didn't. It requires dealing with a lot of difficult personalities. Sometimes there's a lot of difficult clients. Sometimes I get mad at judges, I get mad at DAs, but I know how to collaborate and work together as a team. And work together towards a goal. So I'm definitely prepared to do that. I wouldn't come as an individual and just expect to get my way. It's definitely a collaborative process.
Great. Thank you so much, Mrs. Tryfman, for joining us today, telling us a little bit more about yourself and your mission overall. Make sure you all stay tuned for the candidates debate that will be released on September 30th at 6 p.m. Once again, I'm Alana Morgan from KBEV 6.